What I find interesting is there's a lot of questions that come in, whether it's through email, text, or phone calls. Let's talk about the election, the 2024 election. And I'm really not going to go there in any of these episodes. I mean, this is a YouTube channel with the intent to drive dollar per rep and owner profitability and add value to your personal growth. That's really the intent to this. And I don't think politics has any room on this channel. But I will say this, I think it's important that we all listen, right? Like just listen to what people are saying. Listen to, if you've got a strong opinion on one candidate, listen to smart people on the other side. I think that's just really good advice. Like if you have a differing opinion and I really respect you and you're really smart, I want to listen. I really want to seek to understand. I think that's just great advice before we all walk into voting booths and do our voting. So that's all I really want to say on that. I'm going to answer some really easy questions. Again, back to owner profitability here. Luis Magana writes in and asks, Jamie, what advice do you have for rookie owners? Obviously, a lot easier to talk about that than politics. And so I'm going to dive into this. I'm going to give you three of courses. Like these are three pieces of advice you probably expect to hear. And then I'm going to finish it all off with one that you probably don't expect. So here goes. The first, of course, advice is something you'll hear from leaders in every industry. I mean, this isn't unique to our business. I mean, talk to anybody kicking butt in any business and they will say, stay close to the thing that makes the money. Okay? Don't take your eyes off the revenue. Be involved in the revenue generation part of the business. So in our business, it happens to be, listen, the field. Stay connected to the field. I think a mistake a lot of rookie owners make is like, well, listen, I worked really hard to get out of the field. I did not get to this position so I could be a full-time field rep. And I'm not saying be a full-time field rep. I'm saying stay connected. Go to the field every once in a while. Cherry pick the best players. Go in the field with your top new people. I mean, on the road to consultant, I was in the field probably on average twice a week, more out of just sheer boredom than anything. There's only so much to do in the office, right? It's not like you're doing 50 interviews per day and you're just overwhelmed with tasks. I mean, there was only so much to do. So why not go to the field? Why not, generate money myself and take some pressure off, payroll for me? Why not meet up with a sharp new person in the field and help get them up to speed? Stay close to the thing that's generating the money. Stay connected to that. Of course, spend time developing your people. Invest in your people. Over the years, I've answered this question several different ways. Like, what exactly do you do? And so one of the easy answers, listen, I run a sales and customer acquisition company. And as time went on, I became more successful. I'm like, I'm proud of the roots, proud of where I came from. So I would just bluntly say, listen, I'm a door-to-door salesman. I remember one time in Sky Bar in Hollywood when I was a young single guy living in LA, met this girl and she's like, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a door-to-door salesman. She goes, no, you're not. You wouldn't be in this club if you were. I'm like, no, let me prove it to you. Give me your shoe. And I gave her a pitch where I was selling the shoe to her and she realized this guy really is a door-to-door salesman. She turned around, wanted nothing to do with me. So maybe that wasn't such a good idea, but that was a blunt way to answer. And so another way I've answered this on an airplane once, hey, what do you do? I'm like, well, I'm a developer. Oh, and automatically people assume, you must be a real estate developer, right? And so it's like, no, I'm a people developer. That's really my role, right? So take that role seriously. I mean, you want to get good at effective one-on-ones. So maybe call around to who you believe the top owners are and like, hey, how do you prepare for your one-on-ones? Like, what is a successful one-on-one exactly look like? Like, what's the intent and, what's the meat potatoes of it all? Running great morning meetings, great campaign meetings, but, really take the development of your people seriously. You think of any high-paid coach, I mean, isn't that really the role of the coach? It's all about, if you get players with potential, your job is to bring out the maximum potential out of each candidate. Each person's got a different level of potential, but that is your job. You are a developer. The third, of course, is live lean. Don't feel the need to have to spend your money. You don't have to impress people financially. Like, let me flash the cash. Let me flaunt, my expenditures. No way. Live lean. Okay. There's an old saying that I remember that I took very seriously. If you take care of your business will take care of you. So my goal is to help my business get fat. Help that bank account get fat. Like, take care of your business, and your business will be able to take care of you, your family, your people. So that's got to be the goal, is to get the business fat. There's another saying, there's a Dave Ramsey quote. He says, if you live like no one else, right? In other words, live well below your means. If you live like no one else, later on, you'll be able to live like no one else. So I like that. Or maybe another way to look at it is entrepreneurship is living like a peasant for your first 5 years. I'm sure you've heard this before. Like, live lean, entrepreneurship, first 5 years, so you can live like a king or queen for the rest of your life. So again, don't feel the need to have to spend your money. You don't have to impress your people with, blowing a whole lot of money. Like, live lean. There's something very attractive to a hungry entrepreneur that hasn't made it yet, right? I mean, you think about these heavyweights that have done really well. I've listened to people like Mark Cuban talk about how he ran his business when things were really lean. He wasn't flashing the cash. He lived well below his means, and people were sticking with him. People wanted to be a part of what he was doing because they saw the vision. They saw the potential of where the business could go. He didn't have to impress anybody with, oh, look at my fancy car, or anything like that. So live lean, Luis. Those were the 3 of courses. I don't think it's unique advice by any means for those 3 categories, but here's the number one thing that I like to tell all the rookies. Enjoy the journey, learn to have fun. I think so many people get caught up in the destination that, well, if this, then. It's like, you know what? I referenced this story in episode 102, talking about when I met Steve Wozniak, and I'm like, what was it like, in the early stages of Apple? And there's this twinkle in his eye. He loved talking about those good old days, the early days. And I find this with highly successful people, when you talk about those early stages when they first started their businesses, whether it was in their 20s or 30s or whenever they started, there is that twinkle in their eye. They reminisce about the struggle. They reminisce when they had nothing, and those may have been the best years of their life. So if that's true for you, right, when you become an old man and you look back on your life, you may very well reminisce about the struggle. Like, oh, I remember that first office. There was no glitz or glamour. It was a real rundown office space. I mean, I do remember I didn't even have enough money for a desk, and I had to put boxes on both sides and then a poster on top of those boxes and use that as a makeshift desk. I mean, those were the good old days when I had nothing other than dreams and discipline and hard work. So enjoy the journey. I know it can get monotonous. Oh, I got to go to the field again today. Oh, I know I got to do another interview today. So I understand that can get boring. But again, gamify your business if you have to. You're going to grind. You got to suck it up. I mean, there is no camera on you when you're in the practice and you're in the moment of the grind. I understand that. Really, the cameras are on you when you get on stage and you get that award. But that's just such a small, brief moment. It's all that time you put into the journey. Just learn to enjoy that. Don't be in such a rush. Many business owners, it takes years, decades to get their business really off the ground. So why are we in such a rush that, rookie ownership, we've got to open up 2 outside deals our first year. We've got to save $100,000 our first year. You don't have to be in such a rush. If it takes you 10 years or 15 years or 20 years to become a consultant, who cares? It's like a marathon. I mean, you're not so caught up in the time unless you're really that good that, hey, I want to do it in 2 hours and 15 minutes. The fact that you cross the finish line, you're a winner. So I'm way less concerned about the time frame. I know I'm going to get there. So while you're in the grind, just learn to enjoy. Easier said than done, Luis. I get that. But really focus on making it a fun, fulfilling journey. So that's what I have here for you today.